So we don't say no right away, and we involve the kids all the time. Site-based, everyone's heard. I don't care if you're licensed, non-licensed. If you're a student sitting around the table making a decision, you have a vote like everyone else has. The only time I would step in as an administrator is if I know it's a legal issue or a financial issue. But other than that, I just get to do the icky paperwork. So, the teams, we have building and transportation, personnel, finance, outreach, special services, which is our 504 special ed, assessment, academic, and technology. And everybody has to sit on two. Last year, every single one of our committees were run by a non-licensed staff. And that was probably the best year we had as far as having site-based teams actually doing the work they need to do. It was wonderful. Yep.
Does that include students also?
The teams are all staff. If students want to sit on one of the site-based teams, we just ask them to come to a staff meeting and present it, and present why they should, and we will put them on. Personnel is the only one that we have a little bit of a problem with just because of data privacy. Yes?
Just around decision making, what are parents' role in program development and budget planning?
The question is, how much of a role do parents play in budget planning and everything else? I would hope that our parents are actively involved in everything. I want parents in the building every single day. I want them helping as much as they can. However, in the depressed economy we're in right now, a lot of our parents are working 2 and 3 jobs. But we have parents who sit on the board who are actively involved in that. We have an active parent group. We send home projects that kids are working on and parents have to sign them off because we do presentation nights every 6 weeks, and we had a student present a project on abortion, only to find out that night that the parent was absolutely, would not have allowed their child to do a project on abortion, and she flipped out in the middle of the atrium as her daughter was presenting this thing on abortion. So now we send project plans home, and parents have to sign off on every plan that their student does, just because I don't want to step on any more toes.
So, follow, how do you, being involved in the public school system, being a parent, how do you assure sort of participation and engagement, especially around budget issues and program planning, especially amongst underrepresented families and marginalized families? What we see here a lot is you have more middle class, formally educated parents playing those decision-making roles, and then affecting, the larger population, which is made up of low income, kids of families of color, etc.
For us, because we're so small, with 125, we could personally call every parent and say, can you be part of this group? What would be the best time to meet? We try to make sure that every one of our parents is actively involved with 125 students, and I have responsibility for 17. I can give 17 parents a call and say, we're having this meeting, we're trying to get it set up, what would be the best meeting time for you? We'll run 2 meetings if it doesn't work with working schedules of parents. We will go to different communities if we need to make sure that we're getting the input in from parents. We also, we touch base with parents all the time. We do 4 conferences a year. So we do preschool conferences. So before school starts, we will have a conference with every parent and child. And if that means I have to run to 8 different communities and meet in the coffee shop because the parents don't have enough time off work to do it otherwise, I will do that. And the staff will do that. And sometimes we go into homes and meet in homes because that's good. We do another one in October just to make sure the year has started out right. And then we do one in February, March, and then we do one at the end of the year to plan work over the summer. We're open all summer long. Staff cycles through. Everyone has like 6 days they have to put in. And so we do projects with kids all summer long. The building's always open. we'll make sure that whatever student is there can work and is fed, etc. So, but I think going back to the cooperative, we do what we do because we're part of a cooperative. We can change whatever we need to change overnight because we have the ability and the voice of everyone sitting there to change what we do. If next week happens and my student special ed population grows to 80%, within 2 days we can adjust what we're doing to make sure that we can meet the needs of all of those kids. So it's amazing what we can do. Okay. Everybody has a professional development plan. Peer evaluation is based on rubrics. This is the first year we had to let someone go. Our illustrious governor, who wants to be president, by the way, has decided he is not going to raise any taxes. So August 1st last year, he unallocated 30% of our budget, or 27% of our budget. This coming year, he's going to unallocate 30% of our budget. So we'll get last year's back in August, September, October, but next year's 30% cut will take 10 years to get back, is what we're hearing. So we've had to cut people. The whole group voted on that. So the whole group went through rubrics on everyone on staff. We put all of that information together, including parent surveys, student surveys, etc. And we had to let someone go. And we've been the same team for 3 years. It's really tough to let somebody you love and adore go, but we had to do that. Performance-based pay, we truly do not follow a step and lane pay, which is what most schools do. We are paid by our performance. If we want to take on extra work, you can up your pay. If you want to take on less work, you can lower your pay. If you're not doing what you need to do with kids, your pay goes down. If you're doing extraordinary things with kids, your pay goes up. So it's kind of a neat thing. And we have at-will agreements. There is no tenure. So makes everybody a little nervous some days.
And so what is your relationship with the local teachers' unions? And what is their responsibility? The members who vote these policies, the teachers who vote these policies in your co-op?
None of our teachers belong to our local union. And when I get asked what do they think about us, probably it's not much more than dirt. And we can live with that. I do call one of the head people at Education Minnesota on a regular basis and say, so what have we pissed you off on this week? I mean, you just have to do that. And my thing to them is start some of these schools. You be in charge and start some of these schools. And I think that would be wonderful. Yep.
I almost remember nothing of my education except for music, art, and athletics. In normal schools, these programs are being cut back pretty severely. What's the cultural like for kids, particularly with music and athletics?
If you want to do music, you can do it. A senior project a couple years ago was putting in a recording studio. He wrote a grant, he got a grant. We have up-to-date equipment. We have a room that we've fixed up. We have a recording studio. So kids can do that. One of our support staff actually has his MFA in ceramics. He does amazing stuff with kids. I have a stained glass shop 3 blocks up on Main Street. I have kids in my shop all the time doing stained glass. Athletics, we probably have the world's best soccer team, but we're not organized to compete against anybody but ourselves. I don't want to spend a lot of money on sports. We're not there to create jocks. We're there to help people find their passion. Way in the back?
What controls are there on curriculum and how is that decided? If somebody wants to teach a class